all new. AM1150 WTMP.com.
Alrighty. It's that time again, ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, girls and boys, old farts, young farts.
Hey.
Porch Talk Radio is here, and we are here to recognize and make sure folks understand. And we ain't trying to hijack June from the LBGTRQS, all that kind of stuff. We just saying that stuff that happened in June can't be forgotten, and I keep seeing people rebelling. A lot of white folks don't like what's happening. With how us as people are taking advantage of opportunities. Turn it on.
No, his is on.
Oh, mine.
Both of y'all's is on.
It's on.
Okay,
Okay.
we're good.
All right. We good. You need me to talk up? Okay, we good.
This month.
Okay, slide on. All right. Anyway,
I'm jealous.
We here doing what we do.
That's right.
And for all you folks out there who listening to my show, I have to tell people I don't go out. Coronavirus did something to the country, did something to the world, the way I used to. And I used to go out all the time. I was trying to be everywhere, and I got a lot of good stuff, a lot of good feedback. And I went to an event today, and the person's gonna talk about it besides me. But I went to an event today, and what I do get is a reminder of why this is the #1 urban show
Again.
in Tampa Bay.
Year after year.
And that it's a lot of people who listen to my show who don't call. A lot of people agree with what I'm saying, but they can't agree publicly. Because, it's kind of like coming out the closet to say I agree with what Eddie is saying, or I agree with those conservative, people on the radio, and they're afraid to listen in a group, like in the older days when we was on GUL, white folks don't mind listening in a group, but it's a whole nother thing. So what we do here is important, and I know it's important. But we've been doing it for 10 years, and the fact that we've been doing this program, this type of program, with the same people.
Years. Forever.
Tim, Gabriel, and myself, we've been doing this for 10 years. And the fact that June has come about, and what we as black folks all over America are telling all the people on this planet who will listen, that, time has come for black folks to be awake, and not just awake with your eyes open, awake with your ears open. Awake saying that, the last 100 years, there's been over 100 massacres in this country, where white folks are just bombed from airplanes, shot, killed, raped, mangled, hung, destroyed black lives. And I ain't trying to play on Black Lives Matter. I'm trying to tell you that you have been abused. And you've taken it with a smile. For all intents and purposes, you withstood slavery. You withstood the transatlantic travel. They took you from the coast of Africa and brought you to the United States, across the Atlantic Ocean. A lot of folks didn't make it. And it's still enough of us here to raise hell right now. And we ain't going to be just asking folks, excuse me, I'm going to say a cuss word, for shit anymore. I'm telling you right now. We ain't asking for stuff. We're going to be demanding stuff. And all we got to do is keep our act together and keep doing what we're doing. Because America is a capitalist system. For all intents and purposes, every time there was some kind of massacre or some kind of something happening, a lot of time black folks was actually doing good. Somebody got jealous inside, they didn't have to ask you for it. They just came and took your stuff, killed your people, burnt down your houses, burned down your cities. Well, guess what? Try it today. I'm just saying. And I'm not preaching stuff that folks in the community ain't saying. Some white folk may not have heard it. You definitely may not heard it recently. But look at how we are responding to stuff, and look at how people say, "Oh, well, we gave y'all a whole month." Well, you didn't give us crap, and we ain't trying to take June from nobody in particular. We just trying to say, it's a lot of stuff that happened in June, and there's no reason we can't take June or July or August or December or September or any other month we want and celebrate, what it's like to be black and free in the United States of America. And since we all know that's a economic statement, guess what? Jewish folks don't need a month. They got enough money. They make every month Jewish money. I'm just saying. Chinese and the Oriental folks, they got Chinatowns all over America. That's why it's still Chinatown. All the way from 1800 till today. They got their own hospitals, they got their own stores, they got their own shops, and some of them even have their own utilities. And that's where black folks need to be trying to go. At some point in time, they got their own hospitals in some of these Chinatowns. And if we ever can convince ourselves that it's better to spend our dollars. Remember I said earlier, we're talking about capitalism, economies. It's all about money. And one of the reasons that the Jewish people are respected, they may be hated, but they're respected, because they figured out a long time ago. And they made allowances within their own culture, within their own community. When bar mitzvah, when you get to be 12, 13, 14, whatever that age is, all the adults get together and put some money away. So when that male child turns 21, he ain't starting out broke. He's not going into adulthood broke. Based upon what kind of family he got some money that he can start his own family with. That's a great, great cultural something to make sure that your family member, when they get to be a certain point in their life where most black folks are struggling, I'm going to tell you, I went through it. I graduated from college, didn't have a dime. And as I said a couple weeks ago when I told you the story about having a pot to piss in, I ain't had dooley squat, had a whole bunch of bills. And you're struggling. But a lot of us, black folks in America, our stories are all the same when they start out. When they end up, that's what's making the difference now. We got enough black folks ended up in places where they can actually help other black folks. Now, will they? Mm-hmm. Won't they? That's something that's changing. Because I'm going to tell you a story now, and I started the show. We ain't even started the show yet. But it was three folks sitting, having a conversation. Two magic black females and me. and everybody know who they are. I just left an event, with two of them there together. And we look back then, and I look out the same doors, windows, driving up and down the same streets, and I can see how everything is changing. It ain't changed as much as I would like, but it is changing. Because we went from a room sitting with 3 people at a table having a conversation about the whole country and how black folks were sleeping giants. They didn't know it back then, didn't act like it back then, but so much has changed, and the giant is waking. He's waking. And now that other folks are realizing it, they're trying to figure out what they need to do. Because there's going to be some change coming. Like, back in the old days, the poets, when I came up in the 60s and the 70s. That's when I was a young teenager and got into college. They say the revolution won't be televised. Oh yeah. See, they didn't realize everybody who had a telephone was gonna have a camera. And now you can get broadcast quality television out of your camera and cell phone and all these other devices that they got. And guess what? They ain't just taking pictures to be in the 6 o'clock news of the black guy who robbed the McDonald's or robbed the bank and getting shot 63 times, and the police, chief of police saying, why y'all shot him 63 times? Because we ran out of bullets. Remember that? Everybody from TampaBay, I know y'all remember that. It's a local occurrence. That's when the whole community would disrespect it because they knew wasn't going to happen. Judge, jury, execution. Black folks, I am so damn glad you are finally waking up. And I'm not being prejudiced because half my audience is white. But I've been preaching, and I'm not scared to say black folks, and I'm not scared to say white folks, and whoever else is involved, and whoever else is listening to me, because the message has been consistent. And because I know more and more and more people are getting it. See, I used to say it, but they wasn't getting it. But now I say it, and everybody can kind of look around. Because the young man who did the show, before we got here, he was talking about the COVID and the virus and what happened with the Tuskegee experiments and all that stuff. I mean, we as people have been experimented on for hundreds of years. And people who make decisions about our lives, they consider some of these things to be collateral damage. There's going to be so many people die, so many people get sick, because they make those kind of decisions. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, they have to say, okay, what's acceptable? 1 death, 2 deaths, 100,000 deaths. In places like China, they got almost 2 billion people. How many casualties in China is acceptable? Anyway, I don't want to get you down. I need to go ahead and start this show because our guest is here.
And she's smiling.
But TampaBay, I love you. And you know I love you. And I have the philosophy, deep-hearted, set belief that I love this community. And everything that I do and everything I say has one purpose. Is to move this black community forward. And I don't mind saying it. See, I ain't ever been afraid of saying it. Some people get embarrassed. They may be, well, I don't know what to say. I don't want to sit next to him. I don't want nobody to think that I'm friends with this guy, because that's what it used to be. When I first started this, black folk were scared to be with me. Because they didn't think. They still had a slave mentality. Mm-hmm. I got rid of my slave mentality a long time ago. When I could eat, feed myself and my family, and I ain't had to beg nobody for nothing. Once I got that freedom, I became a changed man. I became free, black, in America, and had my own mind. There's a lot of black folks ain't got their own mind.
Mm-hmm. You're right there. Big time.
They don't. So anyway, let me go ahead and get this show started. Porch Talk Radio. I don't didn't want to go too far off the beaten track. I was just trying to keep you entertained while our guest came, because I was at an event that she was at. So anyway, let me make this happen. They've had troubles with the phones all day. I have heard and been hearing some of the show. As a philosophy, and I learned this when we first started doing this, whenever you can have your guests in the studio, you can create a chemistry. You can look at them, they can look at you. You got that eye-to-eye contact connection. You can see them nodding their head, shaking their head. They agree, disagree. See, that don't happen on the phone. And we ain't got to worry about having bad phone lines because they're sitting right here with you. That's why, if you ever notice, very seldom do Porch Talk Radio have telephone guests. Because it don't make for good radio. I'm just saying, sometimes you got to do it. But somehow we managed 10 years, we haven't had to have our main guest be someone who's not in the studio with us.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully we don't smell bad or anything. So
Not that bad.
For an hour, whatever it takes. So anyway, if you want to call in, this is a call-in talk show, Porch Talk Radio. We've been here on TMP almost 5 years.
Ooh.
And this is what we wanted. We wanted 10 years ago to start here, but we knew y'all wasn't ready for us. I knew, to say what we say now on TMP, if I'd have been saying this 10 years ago, we probably made it 2 months, if that. And then y'all would have had us kicked off there. May have had me taken out somewhere and hung, But y'all have caught up with me as a community. And I was in a room this morning, mixed black and white folks. And I don't think anybody was booing me. I got some great cheers. And I got some applause. And it's from people who knew me. Some people who didn't know me. Some people had never seen me before. Was in that room this morning. But they went with the flow. And that's so they got a good feeling from the other folks in the room that let them know I was a good guy. And sometimes that's important, especially if you're a black person speaking loudly. I don't know how big my stick is, but I speak loudly.
That's
I speak,
good.
period. I don't bite my tongue. So you would never see me somewhere and my tongue is all red because I've been chewing on it all day because I can't talk.
Mm-hmm.
So I do. So that's why we have this platform. This platform is here to advance the black agenda of Hillsborough County. I don't mind saying that. Porch Talk Radio has always had the same name, because whatever you talk about on the front porch, back porch, side porch, in the yard, that's where black folks used to have conversation and get stuff done. You'd be surprised at how much stuff happened from conversation about people's children, school board, some elected officials happen in the yard. So that's where we are. So that's how we started. If you want to call in the show today, the call-in number is 813-251-9867. 813-251-9867. If you want to call me after the show or during the week to talk about some stuff like some of you guys do all the time, and I don't mind, because if you call me, we talk. We have a conversation. My cell phone number, Eddie Adams' cell phone number. I've been giving my cell phone number out for 10 years since I've been doing
Same
this
number.
show. 813-312. And usually we get callers before we even start the show. But I'm gonna start the show. We're gonna give our guests several minutes to talk, and then if you guys want to call in and have a conversation, then we can do that. All right. So, without any further ado, and I know some of you guys, like my rants. Some of you don't like my rants, but I don't give a crap because I actually pay for the show. So, so like I say, I'm outspoken, and we make stuff happen, and we got a lot of folks who listen to this show. A lot of folks who may never call, and we got a lot of folks who actually have we've had a young guy who was 11 years old, who was a
right.
regular listener, who would remind his mom, Porch Talk is on. We need to get in front of radio somewhere. So I'm just saying. So, without any further ado, one of my favorite people in the Tampa Bay area, Miss Candy Lowe. Candy, what's up? What's up, girl?
Welcome, girl.
Thank you so much, Eddie, and your team here. Looking over at Brother Tim, that also knows all of the history of Tea and Conversation and the Black Business Bus Tour. And I just love you guys so much. And thank you so much, Eddie, for all of the support throughout the years. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about the late Jetty B. Wild.
Yes.
That I was on his show so many times when the Black Business Bus Tour started. As a matter of fact, before it started, when I only had the tea shop, and he would talk about the tea shop and drinking tea. He and Nikki Nicole and Lynn Tolliver and WTMP has been a supporter from day one. Nikki Nicole, Angela Bruton, Janice Morgan, Lulanda, so many have been such a great supporter of the Black Business Bus Tour. And I cannot say enough of how grateful I am and what an amazing weekend it has been, with 3 events this weekend. Last night we were over at the Rose Bar Tampa with Brother Sean Wood and Brother Baye. That I remember Brother Sean would ride on every Black Business Bus Tour when we started. And I met Brother Baye in 2006. Same time the bus tour started as well, would come out for the vending portion of the Black Business Bus Tour. Also, Brother James Ransom, during that time, he and Jetty would have lunch at the Harbor Club, tea and conversation, the bus tour. I cannot. Dr. Carl Warren.
Yes.
Dr. Carl Warren, a supporter from day one of Tea and Conversation and the Black Business Bus Tour, never wavered. Reverend Dixon, he never rode the bus, but he made sure that he was there to support the Black Business Bus Tour. And the list goes on. Kenny Russian would sponsor the Black Business Bus Tour every single month when we started. I remember many times, because I have a hard time asking, and he would say, "Is the Black Business Bus Tour this month? Because you didn't come by and pick up the check that's at the desk." James Rivard GMC Pontiac, for months in, they came in with the Black Business Bus Tour early on, and I never forget with George Glass.
Yep.
He was the one that brought James Rivard GMC Pontiac on board, and the first bus tour we had that Saturday, someone went back on that Monday and bought a vehicle. And from that point on, they were on board with us with the Black Business Bus Tour. Brother Life never missed a bus tour, and that was every single third Saturday of the month for almost 3 years of Black Business Bus Tour. Ursula Odom, always on the Black Business Bus Tour. The list goes on, and I just cannot say how grateful I am of this radio station and Porch Talk Radio and so many others. But I was just thinking about the late Jetty B. Wiles that would allow me to come on, and Brother Lynn Tolliver during that time, supporting the bus tour, the live events we would have, the TampaBay Black Heritage Festival that we partnered with several times to be a part of, taking African American people out busloads and getting off and going in, spending dollars with Black owned businesses. And I have just seen how we've grown over the years. We have an amazing team that we have put together. Twanda Bradley, from the top down. Twanda Bradley, one of the most amazing planners here in the city of Tampa. Jarvis Alameen, Connie Milton, Connie Burton, Kamitra Edwards, Mona Judge, Beth Shute. It's just so many of us that have come together to make this vision continue to grow here in the city, supporting Black-owned businesses. Thank you so much, Brother James Cole, earlier, that has been a part of Tea and Conversation, and he's been on the bus tour many times. And Walter Smith doing live videos and having me on over on 88.5, and Carolyn Lighty, she and Elliot Steele way back, we would be over there on 88.5, and Otis Anthony talking about the bus tour. He was on the bus tour, supporting the Black Business Bus Tour. The names just go on and on. I have most of them all in my head. I very seldom do I write anything down, but we have just had so much support. The former Mayor Bob Buckhorn, supporter from day one, not just the bus tour, but also Tea and Conversation and my tea shop, and the county commissioners and city councils throughout the years, and to Open Cafe. It is our main event where we will have a number of great things going on, and we're just about to sell out for that event as well. So that will be at Eddie, the Open Cafe, and that's from 6 to 8 p.m., and that is 3222 34th Street, East Tampa, where I am born and raised, in the city of Tampa, and born in East Tampa as well. And I love Tampa, love my city. Thank you to State Representative Diane Hart. She was there today. Commissioner Gwen Myers was there. Commissioner Oberman was there as well. And our tax collector, Nancy Milan, was there. I was really happy to see her. I think we had about 5 judges that was there this morning to celebrate with us. And I was just really excited to see so many people come out. And Sonia Brookins is always on the scene with us, and it's great support. And I just can't say enough. Thank you, Tampa Bay. 15 years, the Black Business Bus Tour. It's just amazing. And I just can't say enough of everyone just coming out and supporting. And it's just been an amazing ride and a great team that we have, making things go the way that it has been. I want to say a big shout out to Cato. And Cato has always been with us from day one, rode on all the Black Business Bus Tour. He's one of our captains. He and Donald Daldridge, Natasha was on board. She and Cato used to be partners together. They were captains. They always thought that they had the best bus number 1, but we always know bus number 3 was the best bus. And our city councilman, Orlando Goods, thank you so much for your support always. And City Councilman Joe Citro was with us last night. We were over at the Rose Bar. And Queen Bee over, I don't know if I can say other radio stations, but I was just so excited for so many. 95.7 was there in the house with us, and it was just wonderful, a great celebration. Impact Magazine, Miss Dee Wilkins, making sure that we get the information out. The Florida Sentinel Bulletin, wow, day one. Thank you so much for your support throughout the years with the tea shop, tea parties, Tea and Conversation, and the Black Business Bus Tour. So I'm just absolutely excited, Eddie. And Porch Talk Radio, you guys have always been wonderful to me, and I absolutely love you guys.
And I remember one time when Candy actually did a formal event, and they got to put on, wear hats and gowns and all that kind of stuff. Now, we got a couple of callers, and I appreciate that you guys waited until, we got through the first segment, because I know you guys like to call, and then sometimes we actually have had guests who could not get their message out and get their information out because we had so many callers.
Right.
So that's why I appreciate you. Like I said, you guys are the best listening audience there is, because whenever I ask you, to hold off and wait, and and do what we need to do to be respectful, to our guests and stuff. You are. So we got a couple of callers that's on the line waiting. We'll deal with them, at this point. So if you are one of the callers, we'll take a caller. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. Who are you? Where are you calling from? And what say you? Hello? All right. We have some technical difficulty, but we're going to get back to doing what we do. So it wasn't us. So, but see, that's technology. When it works, it is great. But when it don't work, you don't know what you get. So
Nothing personal.
So do we have another caller? Let's see if we can get this other caller on. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. Who are you? Where are you calling from? And what say you? Okay. Well, we'll wait on the signal, and whenever the signal comes on, then we'll try to get the next call on. I know they've been having this issue all morning. That's why I make sure that we kind of have our guests in the studio, so we never have to worry about that technical difficulties. Guest space on the radio is the worst thing in the world. So
But it's not free.
for folks, you're right. For folks to sit there and listen to just the air and stuff like that, that'll kill a show.
Eddie, let me go ahead and just.
Okay.
So as long as you've been running 15 years now with your program, what results have you noticeably seen in that 15-year period? You can point to saying, because of what we've done in our community, this is now happening.
Because of what we have been doing in this community, Ward Road, in 2017, the Holiday Black Business Bus Tour, they gave us their report, and because of the Black Business Bus Tour, they were able to stay in business for another 3 months, and then another 3 months, all the way up until this morning at our breakfast social gave another report. Because of the Black Business Bus Tour, they have been able to grow. Also, our last Black Business Bus Tour in April, we had a business Accent Boutique, which is over at 5508. In that 45 minutes, her report back to me, and also on her own personal Facebook Live page, she brought in that 45 minutes $3,700. So the Black Business Bus Tour has been a resource. It has brought awareness to Black-owned businesses here in the TampaBay area. Being able to know where they are, going out supporting them, has been unbelievable in the city of Tampa.
So a noticeable result and a noticeable bottom line.
Yes, absolutely.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yes. Okay. So I think we have got through some of the technical issues. Now, do we still have another call on? We got a call. Okay, go ahead and put them through. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. Who are you? Where you calling from? And what say you? Hello. Hello. Okay, we can't.
Hello, how you doing?
There you go. We can hear you now. Go ahead.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Hello.
Hello? Okay, well, sorry. Candy, and one of the things that we talked about, you didn't go into detail, but your movement is moving, across other cities, other states and other stuff. If you could, tell everybody a little bit about that.
Well,
Some of the other places.
Yeah, that has been the goal from day one. I remember having a number of conversations and interviews with Tim for a long time, talking about other cities and states and national, and he would always encourage me, just like you have, Eddie. But our goal is to have Central Florida, the Panhandle, and throughout, the South, throughout the country. I've gone to a number of different cities, states, talking, guest speaking about the Black Business Bus Tour, and meeting with other people in other areas that would like to do the Black Business Bus Tour and organizing it together. And that has always been the goal from day one. Doing it in other areas, just getting together to make it happen, because I know it has to be the right team.
Right, right.
And having the right team together to make it run like the fine tooth comb, because our name is on it. It is our brand coming out of Tampa, Florida. So we want to definitely make sure, if we're in Philadelphia, if we're in Atlanta, if we are in Missouri, we want to make sure that it's tight and right.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And so folks, I just want to make sure that everybody understands that Tampa is the origin for this national concept. And I hear a lot of folks, and I have heard a lot of folks talking about, how do they do it? How do they do it? Well, this is the lady who started it, and this is how it's being done. So if it grows, it starts from here and it grows from here. And the more places that we get doing it, the community as a whole, the black community, will benefit from other citizens. For one thing, and a lot of times folks say, well, I don't know where so and so and so. If they don't live in the heart of the black community themselves, I live in Temple Terrace, but I make it my business to go to the hood, and I don't mind saying it, and spend my dollars when I can. When there's an effort and when there's an issue and when there's things to be done, the more dollars we spend in our community, the better off the community is.
And Eddie, you've talked to us several times about recirculating those dollar bills inside that community and helping build the community stronger, as the Chinese do or the Jewish people do. They keep them dollar bills inside their own little community, and that dollar bill gets recirculated around, and it helps several families, business people, but the money stays in that area, period, as opposed to being quickly, gee, I just got this check from wherever, now I'm going to head over to the other side of town and spend it.
Yep.
And then you're going to be complaining about, well, gee, why does that other side of town look better than my side of town?
Yep.
Well, where are you spending your dollars? Hello?
Well, see, something I learned a couple of weeks ago when I was having this conversation, we were talking about, Chinatown. Well, in a black American city, the average dollar spends 24 hours in a black community. In Chinatown, when them folks get those dollars, $1 in Chinatown lasts 23 days. They hold them captive. They keep them dollars circulating within their own community. The dollar has to literally escape. They have to try to get out of Chinatown. It don't just naturally flow out, as opposed to in black community where you get a paycheck on Thursday or Friday, Saturday, all that's pretty much gone. You back to waiting on the next paycheck.
But it's the other side of town
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's gone. It's gone. But what Candy's doing, making it so. I heard somebody say 5 days this morning, at the meeting. They talking about, dollar hanging around 5 days, and I guess the average community, black, white, but of course, our dollars don't hang around. And what we're trying to do is eliminate excuses. Well, I didn't know so and so and so. I didn't know so and so shop was black. I didn't know. We got traditional hair care, barbershops, and those kind of things. But there's a lot of other things out there that black folks are doing, and that's why we are doing, and that's why Candy is doing what she's doing. She's introducing a lot of people. I heard a lot of people say at the event this morning that they didn't know, and they met people, and they made lifelong acquaintances through this process. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. Just about everyone that was in the room did say that. Just about everyone. It has been a place to build relationships with one another, support their businesses, and growing together as friends. It's just been unbelievable. I just want to, if I can give another shout out
go ahead.
to Miss Sarah Osley, the owner of the Harbor Club, that believed in me and just allowed me to take her building and make things happen. And I just can't say enough about her. And Sister Kim Jackson was very instrumental in making things happen. And Gypsy Galato with the Power Broker magazine. I think we were in every single Power Broker magazine during that time as well. So I definitely want to make sure that I say something about Gypsy Power Broker magazine.
Give out the info about the event tonight again.
Absolutely. Our main event is this evening, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Again, that's 6 to 8. We'll be at Open Cafe, 3222 North 34th Street. That's in East Tampa. And that's from 6 to 8. You can check out our website, blackbusinessbustourflorida.com. You can go on my Facebook page, and that's Candy Lowe, Lowe, Black Business Bus Tour Facebook page.
All right, now what we're gonna do? We're gonna do it on this day.
Mm-hmm.
Then Gabriel's gonna do his little rant, and then if we have time left, we'll see if we can get another caller in. So anyway, on this day, June 26, 1819, the bicycle was patented by W.K. Clarkson Jr. So
The
for
bicycle?
bicycle,
Huh.
1819.
That's the one with the big wheel in front, the huge wheel?
Yeah, I'm thinking that's the one.
Like a clown
'Cause
bike?
It took for a while. It took a while for it to get to where we are now.
Average size, because that was
with the
crazy
bicycle,
back then. That's what it
with two
sounded like
wheels.
then, Eddie.
Yeah, they had a big old wheel and a little wheel.
Needed a helmet back then for sure.
That's where we started out, but they didn't have helmets back then.
Yeah.
They climbed up on those things and took their chances.
Woo!
All right. On this day, June 26, 1900, a commission that included Dr. Walter Reed from the Walter Reed Hospital
Mhm.
began the fight against the deadly disease called the yellow fever.
Mm.
And that's 100 years ago, over 100 years ago. So every period of time, there's some kind of natural disease that crop up. You know, that's why I keep telling folks this stuff may be new in that they got a new name or new whatever you want to call it, but you know they had a commission, you know, that showed up 100 years ago, and their whole duty job was to come up with a cure, vaccine. June the 26th, 1974, in Troy, Ohio, a Marsh supermarket installed the first barcode scanner equipment. It was made by IBM. And the product that the first product
Mm-hmm.
that the barcode scanned was a juicy fruit gum. Now you want to get ready for Jeopardy and trivia.
There you go.
What's the first item ever scanned in the supermarket by the barcode reader? Because they don't even type the stuff in no more.
I think you only need a trailer truck to get any flavor out of those things, right? Yeah.
So it was a I guess it was a package of juicy fruit gum. And last but not least, on this day, June the 26th, 1996, the U.S. Supreme Court ordered the Virginia Military Institute to admit women or to forego any state support. So that means if they didn't admit women, they could not get any money from the state or from the federal government.
Wow.
So that's when they started admitting women. And of course, at first they wanted them to fail. And at first, the first couple of women that went in fail
Mm-hmm.
because the system is made that way.
Mm-hmm.
But now, females are graduating from VMI.
That's
Gabriel.
awesome. All right, guys. So as we start off trying to lighten the load as always, what did the bra say to the hat? You go on ahead. I've got to give these two a lift. Hold on to that one real quick. So the other day I got pulled over by the police, and I was apparently his first speeder because he got to my window and he said, "I've been waiting all day for you." I said, "I got here as fast as I could. You let me go." Folks, you never know. You just never know till you give it a shot. All right, then, let's go here, guys. AstraZeneca, if you guys have heard that, that was one of the vaccines. They have admitted defeat. Says its medicine doesn't work. It's official. The COVID-19 treatment that the Anglo-Swedish laboratory AstraZeneca was working on has been deemed ineffective. Meanwhile, young people have not been doing well with the vaccine. People report heart inflammation and female reproductive issues after receiving the COVID-19 vaccines. People have reported a myriad of mild to severe symptoms after receiving their COVID vaccine shots. More COVID-19 patients have come forward and shared similar symptoms. In San Diego, California, several young people experienced heart inflammation called myocarditis, I believe, by Dr. Michael Welch, an allergist and immunologist at the Rady Children's Hospital, said 8 cases have now been reported. More than 300 similar cases have been reported across the country. They had a 13-year-old Michigan boy that died of it after 3 days after his second shot. As for Make-A-Wish Foundation, who would ever think something so harmless, Make-A-Wish Foundation? A child has made a wish with them. He wanted them to grant it. And the Make-A-Wish Foundation said, sorry, if you don't get the jab, the vaccine, you go ahead and die. So moving on to happier news, the CEO of Nike, his name is John Donahoe, bows to China communists, admits that Nike is a brand of China and for China. So this is the guy who runs the company, says it's all about China. Everybody is trying to make their payments and get their Nikes because of LeBron. And no, you're wrong. You're being played. Latinx is the next thing that the liberals are trying to throw on Latinos, and they're not falling for it. 98% don't believe that Latinx is anything but just what Eddie said earlier, because a Latino is a male, a Latina is a female. There is no cross-gender or mixed gender. They know what they are, and they know who they are, and they're not falling for it. As we move along here, moving along into happier news, Christmas is exactly 6 months from now from yesterday. You guys got their Christmas shopping done? Somebody answer up there. And as we always go on what Mr. Joe Biden has said, because everybody always complains about systemic racism, I was the first to say, no, that was a lie. I was wrong. In 1973, Joe Biden said, I know what is good for the Negro. And here we go.
All right. Well, folks, critical race theory is all the rage. Now, for those who really, really, really don't know what critical race theory is, any black person born and raised in the United States of America can tell you their story. Guess what? You are getting critical race theory from an individual who may not show up in a history book, but they can tell you what critical race theory is all about. Because some knucklehead, pencil-head, pointy-headed person sat down and gave it a big, highly important, famous, easy to digest for white folks name, don't make it any different than what it is. Being black in America any black man or black woman from all over the country, from California, New York, Florida, Detroit, Mississippi, Alabama, if you sat down and recorded 5 questions and had them give you the answer to those 5 questions as truthfully as they could possibly do it, you will find that life for black Americans are pretty much the same. It don't matter where you come from. There may be some socioeconomic differences, but those that involve how much money you got, how much money you make, do not and are not reflected in how everyone else treats you. You can be a governor, you can be a police, you can be a teacher, you can be a bum. When you walk into certain stores, when you walk into certain courtrooms, you walk into certain parts of this country, they all see you as the same person. Strategic race theory is trying to explain how this country reacts and treat you based upon 400 years of history. So, you got the answer. No egghead is going to actually explain it that way, but I just did. So, I guess that means I'm not an egghead.
You're not being PC, Eddie.
I'm not politically correct, and I'm not a pointy head. So,
There you
until next week, everybody in Hillsborough County, same bat time, same bat station. We love you. Bye-bye.
God bless America.